Hey guys, the dude from Denmark here. Over the last few weeks I've been showing you spoilers for Khans of Tarkir, the new set that's about to come out from the Gathering. Today I wanted to talk about the deck ideas I have for Khans of Tarkir, and you're more than welcome to leave me a comment down below with your deck ideas for Khans of Tarkir too. Anyway, let's check it out. Of all the 5 clans in Khans of Tarkir, I really love Mardu, which is the red, white and black clan. It's kind of funny because normally I'm not into these colors. But I think with Khans of Tarkir, the raid mechanic is definitely the most interesting one, and isn't just way too simple like prowess or whatever. Surgo Helmsmasher is also kind of fun for the leader for the Mardu clan. He might not be the best one, but I really like him, and also that he attacks each combat defable, which will of course trigger the raid mechanic for the Mardu clan. And also that he's indestructible as long as it's your turn, which means that of course he's indestructible when you attack. So he definitely seems like a really crazy guy that could be fun to build around. But in general I wanted to build a deck around him and the raid mechanic. The only problem I have with raid is that it's a one-time thing, which means that you cast a creature, and if you're attacked with a creature this turn, something special will happen when you cast this creature. And then it just lies on the battlefield and being a 3/3 for 4 or 5 mana or whatever, because it had raid, which I don't really like. But there is a creature that's called Bloodsoaked Champion that lets you return it from your graveyard to the battlefield if you attack with a creature this turn, which you can do for 2 mana, which is so awesome. And it's only a 1-drop 2/1. This is really awesome since we now have a raid that can trigger more than just once, which I would have loved that Khans of Tarkir would have more of, but that would probably be way too overpowered, I think. But this creature is of course a really nice one. A cool thing with the raid mechanic is that it's not only on creatures you have raid, but also in Khans of Tarkir we also have sorceries, where Hall of the Horde is one of them. That's a sorcery that costs you 3 mana and is red. And when you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. If you have attacked with a creature this turn, you get to copy it an additional time, which is really fun, I think. And you could really do some really nasty tricks with this card if you have the mana for it. A raid creature I really like for the Mardu clan is the Mardu War Striker. That if you attack with a creature this turn, you add one mana of each of the 3 mana colors in the Mardu clan, which means that you now have 3 mana open, maybe even more if you didn't use all your mana, open for your second main phase. Which means that, for instance, with these type of colors of mana, you could cast a Crackling Doom, which costs exactly these 3 types of mana. So you can deal 2 damage to each opponent, and they have to sacrifice their greatest creature with the greatest power. This is actually really awesome, and I really think there are a lot of things you can do with these color combinations of the Mardu clan. So it could be really fun to sit around and think about what you could cast, or if you should wait with casting this guy, since you want to have mana open for a card you want to cast or whatever. So it's definitely a nice card to have. A thing I would really have loved in Khans of Tarkir with the raid mechanic would be that we had a creature we could cast in our second main phase that would give us an extra combat phase, or a sorcery that would do the same, because that would mean that you could cast that in your second main phase, attack again, and then cast another raid creature to let that thing happen. The closest thing we have to that is Timely Horde Mate, which is a human warrior creature that costs you 4 mana and is a 3/2. And when it enters the battlefield, if you attack with a creature this turn, you get to return target creature with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Sadly, there aren't that many creatures with the raid mechanic that only cost 2 or less, which is too bad. But what you can cast is Warname Aspirant, that costs 2 mana and is a human warrior that's red and is a 2/1. That gets a 1/1 if you attack with a creature this turn, and it can be blocked with creatures with power 1 or less. That is actually a really good thing to get out on the battlefield again. And of course, if you attack with a creature, it will get +1/+1, so it would be a 3/2 because you attacked with the creature, which is really awesome. Again, because it enters the battlefield, so the raid will trigger. So this timely horde mate is actually really good for the raid mechanic. It's just too bad that it's just too bad that we don't have more raid creatures with the lower mana cost than 2. Wingmate Rock is also an interesting raid creature because it got flying, and it's a 3/4 that only costs you 5 mana, since you also get another 3/4 bird creature with flying onto the battlefield, which is really cool. Another thing that instead of it only being a raid creature, you also get 1 life for each attacking creature whenever it attacks, which is really awesome. So definitely think that for the mana you pay, you get something really good. If we look outside the raid mechanic, there are of course a lot of cards we could use in a Mardu deck with the 3 colors, red, white and black. One of them is Mardu Hate Blade, and it's only a 1-drop white human warrior creature that's a 1/1, and for 1 black mana you can let it gain death touch until end of turn. This is really aggressive and really lets the opponent might not attack you because he's afraid that you that if you have a 1 black mana open, you will just give it the death touch. It might die too, but it's definitely worth it. So I definitely think it's a good creature to have in this kind of deck. Goblin Slide is an enchantment that gives you tokens if you pay 1 mana whenever you cast a non-creature spell, which is really good with the raid mechanic again, because you make sure you get a lot of tokens out with haste that just attack immediately, so you in your second main phase just can cast a creature with the raid mechanic, so it will trigger. So it's definitely a nice enchantment for the raid mechanic, but also in general. Gurmag Swiftwing is also a creature that could be fun to have in a Mardu deck, which is a black bat creature that only costs you 2 mana for a 1/2 with flying, first strike and haste. This is just a filler in the deck, but it could be really fun since it's really aggressive, since it got haste and first strike, and of course also flying. So this would be there's not much to say about this creature other than it could be fun to have and a really good creature that can do a lot of stuff. If we look at the multicolor cards for the Mardu deck, we have Ankle Shranker, which is the colors of Mardu, and costs you also 2 colorless mana. So in total it's 5 mana for a 2/2 with haste, and when it attacks creatures you control, get first strike and death touch until end of turn. This is also really aggressive and again helps with the raid mechanics, since you really want to attack with this guy. So it's definitely a cool guy you get for so little mana. Butcher of the Horde is another creature that could be really fun to get in. For 4 mana you get a 5/4 with flying, and you can sacrifice another creature to let Butcher of the Horde get Vigilance, Lifelink or Haste of your choice. This Butcher of the Horde guy combos really well with the Timely Horde Mate, or the Blood-Soaked Champion, or any other stuff in Khans of Tarkir that benefits from being sacrificed, although there aren't that many. But in general I think he's really awesome, since you again you want to really attack for it to trigger, and that's what you get with this guy, because he just screams for attacking with him. So that could be really cool, I think. Deflecting Palm is an instant that costs you 2 mana to cast, and next time a source of your choice would deal damage to you this turn, you get to prevent that damage, and if damage is prevented this way, it will deal that much damage to that source controller. I actually think that this could be a finisher in a game, if the opponent just deals a lot of trample damage or a lot of burning damage to you or whatever. So this definitely could be really scary in a Mardu deck like this. Mardu Ascendancy is also a good enchantment that helps you with the raid mechanic, since whenever an untoken creature you control attacks, you get to put a goblin creature onto the battlefield tapped and attacking, which again will of course help you with to trigger the raid mechanic. Another cool thing about this enchantment is also that you can protect your creatures by sacrificing it to let your creatures get +0/+3 until end of turn. So for 3 mana this is really good, I think. Mardu Rough Rider also lets you help with the raid to trigger, since when it attacks, target creature can't block this turn. So of course you will attack with this one to help you with the trigger. It only costs you 5 mana to cast for a 5/4, which I think is really awesome. Write Down is an instant that only costs you 2 mana, which is really awesome since again, if we want to attack with the raid mechanic, we now have an opponent that's going to block, but that will get destroyed, and creatures will get trampled. Creatures that were blocked by this creature that you are destroying will get trampled, which is really awesome, because if there are more creatures blocking and you also kill them, for instance, you get the trampled through. So this is actually a really aggressive card that could be really fun to have in a deck like this. A creature I want to build a deck around is Tusk Fortress, which is from the Abzan clan, which is the white, black and green. This creature is an elephant that costs you 5 mana to cast, and it's a 5/7, where you untap each creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it during each other player's untap step. This seems like a really fun thing and a really aggressive thing for these 3 colors, I think. Sadly for the Abzan clan, the Outlast mechanic is really boring, so I actually wanted to make a deck around it with other cards from the Khans of Tarkir that give some counters instead. An Offenser the Foremost is the leader for the Abzan clan, which only costs you 3 mana and is a 4/4. And when it attacks, you put a 1/1 counter on another target tapped creature you control, and if a creature card would be put onto an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, you exile it instead. This is again really aggressive for these type of colors, I think. And the cool thing is that when an offenser attacks, you put a 1/1 counter on another target tapped creature, which would of course with the Outlast mechanic would be good. But the cool thing is that you just tap, the creatures to attack together with an offenser, and then they would just automatically get a 1/1 counter. And again with the Tusk Fortress, this would be really awesome, because they would untap in the next upkeep of the opponent. So that would be really cool, I think. Instead of listing every creature that gave counters to this deck, I would just point out that a black card you could use with this deck, where you want to have a lot of counters on, would be Retribution of the Ancients, which only costs you 1 mana for an enchantment that for 1 black mana you can remove X 1/1 counters from target from among creatures you control, to let target creature get -X on end of turn, which means that you could just kill the opponent's creatures with your creatures that had counters on them. So this could actually be really fun in a deck to use this. A no-brainer would of course be to use the Outlast mechanic, where a lot of these creatures will get something special when there are a 1/1 counter on it, like Death Touch or Flying or Lifelink or whatever, but that's just way too linear, I think. Delve is a returning mechanic in Khans of Tarkir, which at first when I saw, I was actually really glad, because I think Delve seems like a nice mechanic. Sadly, we don't really have any really interesting cards with the Delve mechanic in Khans of Tarkir. I still want to make a deck with the Delve mechanic, since we have a creature that gets +1/+1 whenever you exile something from your own graveyard, which could be fun to build around. But I'm not sure Delve is the right choice, which is also why I'm not sure what I want to build with this deck yet. It can also be quite hard to build a Delve deck, because you need to know how much Delve you want in a deck. Normally you might take four cards of the same type of cards with a special mechanic, because you want to draw that card often. But with Delve you might want to slow it down and only have 1 or 2, because once you cast the Delve thing, you might not have anything left in your graveyard, and you have to keep over and over again to let it build up, which can take too much time in a quick match. So you really have to think about how you build Delve. These were my deck ideas for Khans of Tarkir. You're more than welcome to leave me a comment down below and tell me what you think of Khans of Tarkir in general, and also if you have any deck ideas for what you want to build with the Khans of Tarkir cards. Until next time, have fun guys.